Pakistan ramps up diplomatic efforts for second round of US-Iran talks. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif leads meeting on ceasefire extension and next steps, maintaining contact with Iranian leadership throughout the day. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif meets Iranian Ambassador Raza Amiri Muqaddam to discuss regional tensions and peace efforts. The meeting highlights ongoing diplomatic engagement for stability. Trump announces the extension of the Iran ceasefire at the request of Field Marshal Asim Munir and Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif. He confirms military action will be paused for now, but the blockade will continue. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif thanks US President Trump for extending the ceasefire on behalf of Field Marshal Syed Asim Munir and himself. He hopes for a successful peace deal and reiterates Pakistan's commitment to diplomatic efforts. Iran's advisor to Parliament Speaker Ghalibaf rejects Trump's ceasefire extension. Mehdi Mohammadi calls US blockade no different from bombing. He urges Iran to take initiative as tensions between the US and Iran continue to escalate. US Vice President J.D. Vance's trip to Pakistan for Iran peace talks is delayed. White House confirms postponement as discussions continue on the next steps. Retired U.S. General Mark Kermit discusses Pakistan's increasing diplomatic weight in an interview. He points to personal ties, notably between Trump and Field Marshal Asim Munir, as key to shaping regional dynamics. Pakistan and UK stressed the importance of dialogue for regional peace. Deputy Prime Minister Saqdar and British High Commissioner Jane Marriott discussed diplomatic efforts with Pakistan facilitating US-Iran negotiations. Trump claims Iran doesn't want the Strait of Hormuz closed, but seeks to continue making $500 million daily. He accuses Iran of saving face in negotiations while emphasizing a more forceful approach to their leadership. Iran's UN envoy Amir Saeed Irvani confirms Tehran will resume talks in Islamabad if the US blockade is lifted. Tehran emphasizes it is prepared for both dialogue and conflict depending on the blockade's resolution. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi calls any blockade of Iranian ports an act of war. He condemns attacks on commercial vessels and crew detentions, accusing the US of breaching the ceasefire amid rising tensions. Iran's Khatam al-Anbiya headquarters vows to defend the nation at all costs. Military on maximum alert, prepared to strike pre-designated targets instantly. Any attack, including by US or Israel, will trigger immediate retaliation. UN welcomes Trump's ceasefire extension with Iran, calling it a step towards diplomacy. The UN urges all sides to avoid actions that could derail the truce, highlighting Pakistan's role in facilitating dialogue. Over 30 countries convene in London to discuss reopening the Strait of Hormuz. The conference, hosted by France and the UK, focuses on military planning and regional deployments, with action awaiting a ceasefire agreement. Information Minister Ataullah Tarar exposes India's false flag operations 1 year after Pahalgam. He calls India's actions driven by pride, arrogance and greed, and stresses Kashmir remains an international issue. One year after the Pahalgam incident, an Indian newspaper reports a total lack of accountability for the intelligence failures that left 26 tourists dead. Critics slammed the Modi government for shielding officials while using the tragedy to consolidate political control. UN blocks the Taliban from Afghanistan's permanent seat for a fourth consecutive year. Experts label the move a total diplomatic failure driven by the regime's extremist policies and global isolation. Pakistani freelancers earn $856 million by Q3 fiscal year 2026, a 50% rise. Reforms under the Special Investment Facilitation Council drive growth as thousands of new freelancers enter the digital economy. Power supply improves in parts of Pakistan, but outages persist. Despite a rise in electricity generation, ongoing shortfall leaves parts of the country facing up to 8-hour power cuts. U.S. Senator Bernie Sanders calls for end to military aid to Israel. He cites violence in the West Bank with over 1,000 Palestinians killed since October 2023. Real Madrid secures 2-1 win over Alaves, snapping a 4-match winless streak. Mbappe and Vinicius Jr. score, pushing Madrid to second place as the title race with Barcelona intensifies.